All right, welcome to Romance Happy Hour. I'm Dylann Crutch. I'm here with Dawn Luedecke, and we've also got TB Bond and Dahlia Rose in the house tonight. So excited to have you joining us. Thanks for being here.
Awesome.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Our pleasure.
And Dahlia, I love your name.
Thank you.
That. It's beautiful. And I love your shirt too.
Yeah, we were commenting on the shirt.
I commented on it, but is that like lace on the sleeve though?
Oh,
like,
yeah, I'm kind of like one of those rockabilly favorite people. I love anything rockabilly. They made this for me and put this, the lace on it, and I was like, oh, this is so perfect. I can never get rid of it now.
No,
Shirt.
I like all that Doctor Who paraphernalia.
Yeah. You don't want to see the rest of The Office. My husband made me TARDIS bookshelves, so I have those.
Oh, my husband's a Doctor Who fan as well, so I wish he had made me Doctor Who.
Now you can have him make you some.
He made this one behind me.
Oh, nice. See, he's just one step away.
We may have to get tours of your offices, but we can't do that in mine because it's way too messy.
Mine's messy too.
Yeah. I can only show you one half. The other half, not so much.
Exactly.
You're up.
I do have something I want to show tonight, though. Can I do it, Dawn?
Yeah. What though? And show it. Yay!
Yes, my blanket.
Our Bucky.
Oh, that's so cute.
So it's we talk a lot. I should have warned you ahead of time. We talk a lot on Romance Happy Hour about there's a running beaver joke, and so I was in Texas and they have Buc-ee's, the big gas station. I mean, it's not even a gas station; it's like a town. But they have these Buc-ee's. They're big gas stations with big stores attached that sell everything in the world. But their mascot is a beaver. And so I bought myself a Buc-ee's beaver blanket to put over my lap when I'm writing in the cold at my desk. Yes. And it's cold here because there's snow. There's snow.
Can I just say though, like Buc-ee's, when you say Buc-ee's is like unlike any other, it literally is unlike any other. If you have a chance, if you go past one, you have to stop. Their bathrooms are by far, like I know men who will go to use the restroom in private at a Buc-ee's rest stop versus their own home. It is that amazing in there. I mean,
so this is bigger than Stuckey's?
It's what?
It's bigger than Stuckey's?
I have never heard of Stuckey's, so I'm gonna say yes.
There's nothing like a Buc-ee's. It needs its own zip code. I mean, I think they have.
You're saying clean bathrooms at a rest stop. When you go to a rest stop, you're like, you want to hover. You really don't want to,
No,
and you're
clean
bathrooms.
Yeah, no, they have disinfectant like stations in your stall is like your own little like cave. It's completely sealed in. You're sealed in the stall. They have disinfectant for the toilet seat, so you disinfect your toilet seat, so you get the whole experience. Like you disinfect your toilet seat before you go to the bathroom. I know this is like a super good talk for a romance happy hour.
I know.
It's like knowledge. You keep traveling. I found a 7-Eleven out, I don't know, 58 somewhere backwoods of Richmond, Surrey area.
Yeah.
That 7-Eleven, because I had to go really bad, actually had the cleanest bathroom I've ever seen in my life, and there were flowers in there.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. See, this is a book. This should be like a coffee table book. Best bathrooms across America.
Yeah.
I think you're onto something.
You don't have to worry about your shoes having shoes.
I mean, I was just wanting to show my blanket. We've got, I told you, we go in all directions here.
We really do.
But before we get like too far off track, I want to hear, Dawn, what are you working on?
So
what have you had going on in the last week? Somebody had a new release.
Yes, I had a new release, High Heels and Cowboy Boots. It's doing really well. I love it so much. The reviews are I couldn't be happier with the reviews. I'm very excited. And I have the sequel to that is coming out in the Askew Ever After box set. Originally it was going to come out in December, but now it's pushed to January. And I have a new release coming out as well next month on the 13th, November 13th. It's my women's fiction, Finding Hope. So I'm really busy with those, and I'm trying to write a book for my agent. She wants some more cowboys. So I'm working on, I got 2 first scenes going on here, and I just don't know which direction I want to go. I'm considering popping them up on my group to say, hey, which book do you think I should write? So that's
that would be fun
right now.
And we're reading High Heels and Cowboy Boots for
we are.
Romance Happy Hour Book Club on, what date is that? November 5th?
Yep. And I just got all that put up. I am giving away an autograph copy and my crafting skills. It's going to be a Romance Happy Hour wine glass.
Ooh, and your crafting skills.
Yeah.
Dawn makes some amazing things. Yes.
I am now intrigued.
My favorite are the shoes that she made out of pages of books.
Yes.
Oh, for the formal?
Yep.
Nice. I want one of those.
Yes.
Not very good in writing.
It sounds unique, and my office is unique, and it now needs a shoe made out of pages. Thank you.
My husband, for those of you who don't know, last year, TB and I am in the same writing chapter together. And last year we had a conference, and there was a competition, a dress up competition.
Yes.
And I made my husband wore a vest with book pages on it, from my book. And I made shoes out of book to look like book pages. But I could not tear apart any actual books. Well, I mean, it was an actual book, but it was the medical dictionary. And that's the only thing I could sacrifice for these high heels was the medical dictionary. So I don't know what kind of, I mean, any letters, honestly, I just ripped them out. So I don't know what kind of words are on my shoes. I mean, there might be some interesting definitions on my shoes. But I make no promises to what's on there, but.
I think you need to share a picture of your shoes on the Facebook.
I will. Definitely, yeah.
I mean, I remember seeing the outfits last year, but I don't remember seeing a close-up of the shoes.
I got to be honest, so my husband's in the military. He comes in port every 4 months or so, right? He's out and coming back in. So whenever he comes back in, I get dressed up and I go meet him. And I don't know how many times I have tried to wear those heels to pick him up from the boat. And he's always like, no, baby, sorry. No, those aren't boat picking up shoes. And I'm like, but they have book pages on them. They'll get it. I'm an author. They'll know.
Exactly. That's funny. My husband went with me to the post office for the first time today because he's been working from home for the past, since March. And we voted today. We had a date. We actually left our house together and went to City Hall and voted. And then he went to the post office with me. And so that was the first for him because I had this, stack of hot pink bubble envelopes.
Yeah.
And of course, the guy that always helps me, we just live we have this little tiny post office, and it's always the same guy. And he's like, we sending more books out.
Oh, cute.
My husband was, he never gets to do any of the author stuff with me. So that was kind of fun.
We all went to vote today, me and my husband. So, hey, we got that in common.
You had a date too?
Yeah, we went today at the high school around the corner in our neighborhood, and we went over there, and it was really easy. And I was like, wow, well, we didn't have to stand in line. Then there's this because I needed Waffle House and I needed bacon.
Yeah, I think I voted on Tuesday or something. What day did I do that? I think I did it on Tuesday.
It was pretty slick. I mean, we had to wait a little while, but I would say we were in and out within 15 minutes, so it wasn't bad.
There you go.
I did it by mail. My husband and I are residents of Alaska, so
wow!
Lucky. I've been trying to tell my husband. I've been trying to tell my husband I want to go to Alaska. I want to go to Alaska. He's like, beautiful. There's a lot of snow. I'm like, yes.
Are you going there to homestead? Homestead?
I want to either experience homesteading or see Dutch Harbor or go far enough out that I can see Northern Lights.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
it's infatuating to me, and I want to just do it. And he's like, there's a lot of snow. Needless to say, I'm from the island, and he prefers to go home to the island than going to snow. I'm like, but I take you there. Why can't you take me to snow?
Yeah.
We have not yet come to an agreement.
Well, you'll want to go for the Northern Lights in the summertime. So that'll be good because then it won't be too much snow. But there are glaciers. So you will get the snow experience because you can just, if you go to Valdez, you can hit up the glacier. You can get the Northern Lights, everything all at once.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But can I do it in wintertime?
You can. The Northern Lights are better in the summer, but in the winter you will get there. However,
don't do better in the winter because it's darker. In the summer, it stays lighter
you would
so long.
Think, but they still don't come out until the same time every night, like middle of the night, like 2 a.m. Don't go to Valdez in the winter though, because that's where I lived. It's the snowiest town in America. At one point, it dumped 6 feet overnight. So,
wow.
I mean, my husband and I were like, it's so much snow and so much ice. There are no mailboxes. Everybody uses the post office has like, and you don't have to pay for them. They just issue you a PO box, and there's not really any sidewalks. For the plows and everything, but yeah, it's a lot of snow. You can't leave your trailers. Nobody has trailers there. Like they have RVs. They have to take them to. They call them 81 miles out of town. Then you can drop your trailer off there because there's no snow. Other than that, the snow crushes Connex boxes.
Oh wow!
And fences. Yeah, it's bad. So
that's pretty bad.
You don't want to go there. Go north.
Snow can be pretty heavy.
Yeah, pretty heavy snow.
You see, I'm infatuated with snow because we are in North Carolina, and they say, "Oh, you are going to get 4 inches of snow." Yeah, we get like this much.
Yeah,
yeah. And they throw ice cube at the house, and then they're like, "You're done." Like, what happened?
See, I get that. Like, I joined the military from Montana, so we didn't get as much, but we still get a lot of, a couple feet overnight or whatever up there. And my first time here in Virginia, when I was younger, just joined the military, I was at school here, and it snowed. I was in December, and it snowed enough that you could still see the grass. And Dylan's going to laugh at this because she's in Minnesota, so she knows. You still see the grass. You're like, it's going to melt by noon. And but they closed down even the Coast Guard. I'm like, the Coast Guard closes down because of snow. You can still see the grass, and I was just like laughing. I'm like, oh, rookies. Yeah,
all a matter of perspective.
Yeah,
I mean, 'cause I grew up in Texas and we didn't have snow. We had ice sometimes, but up here. So I grew up in Texas, where we played soccer all summer long, and it'd be like 115-degree heat index. And up here, they close down like football practice and all sports if it's above a certain degree. And so it's a matter of perspective wherever you live.
It really is. Yeah.
So we are not here to talk about weather, Dawn.
I know. It's almost night. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
I know.
We're
not here to talk about weather.
But Dylann, so what are you working on, Dylann?
Oh, I am working on, we announced last week, one of my secrets that Dawn did not spill. Yay, Dawn.
I didn't. He's so proud of me.
I'm very proud of you. I'm still not telling you other things, but I'm super proud of you for not spilling that one. So I'm part of a group project that is launching in January called the Love Vixen. And the Love Vixen is a fictional, of course, international love and relationship advice guru. And there are 11 of us authors, and we're each writing a book in the series. So those will come out one a month starting in January. Yeah. So I'm excited to be part of that, and I'm working on that book. And then I've got Jingle Balls. We're wrapping up Jingle Balls. If you guys haven't bought your copy of Jingle Balls yet, it's only, I'm just looking at the date because I can't keep track. 9 more days. Jingle Balls will be no more after October 31st.
Oh.
And we've got some really...
You're not even staying until Christmas?
No, because it was a 1 month thing. You got to get those balls fast, Dawn.
And in October?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I thought you guys were at least hanging around until Christmas.
Mm-mm. Nope.
Holy
Nope.
cannoli.
You got to get your balls while you can. So
not only that, the Love Vixen has a really amazing giveaway going on too.
I was just going to talk about, Jingle Balls still has a huge giveaway that you can enter through the end of this month. And I don't have a sample right now because I mailed one to a winner today, but I actually hand crocheted a balsam. I'm calling it a balsam lip balm holder. And the lip balm that is in there is Bucky's lip balm because it's got a beaver on it, which I love. So that's part of the giveaway. And then the Love Vixen, we have an awesome giveaway. We're giving away a Kindle Paperwhite and a year's worth of books, which is basically a book from each one of us authors. And then whoever wins is going to get all of the Love Vixen books, one a month for all of next year. So,
oh, wow. Okay.
So I've got that going on. And then I have a new series that'll be releasing in March. We'll start releasing that in March. And so, lots of stuff going on.
And then Dylan and I do we have the date? We have the date set, right?
Yeah, for the Romance Happy Hour Christmas party or holiday party, I should say. It's a holiday party. Yep.
Yeah. So we are doing a holiday party this year, and it's going to be amazing because we're going to Zoom with you. So instead of just doing a live where you guys comment, you actually get to talk to us. And so we're super excited.
I was thinking you have to talk to us.
Yeah, you have to.
Talk to us.
You don't have a choice. No. So we're super excited. We sent out this morning. We sent out our nominations to our authors. We're waiting for them to confirm before we tell you who's coming. But we're planning on tons of fun. So it's going to be a first come first serve reservation. So once we get our authors confirmed, we're going to pop that out there and you guys can sign up for a spot. If we have more than 100, I don't know. If we have more than we have room for, you guys can comment and still talk to us, but you won't be in there with us. And we got a lot of gifts, a lot of competitions, a lot of
It'll be fun.
It's going to be hilarious and fun.
So just keep an eye out for that. We'll put it all on the page and we'll put it in our newsletter so you can stay informed. But we need to get to our guest on because we've been talking for almost 20 minutes. Okay. This is Dawn with wine. Dawn with wine and a toothache. So Tia, writing is TB Bond. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you write and what you're working on?
I love anime, sci-fi, fantasy, all of it.
My new best friend.
Ha-ha!
Yeah.
I write paranormal romance, science fiction romance, and both of those have high fantasy elements. I am going to write that story that is so off the wall, probably, that you're just like, and it's fun. And because someone asked me the other day, like, how do you come up with your concepts? And I said, I wonder a lot of things. Basically, and I'm also getting ready to branch into superheroes. So cool. Look out for that.
Ooh, yeah,
awesome.
I'm excited. Tia was my go-to girl for information for this book that my agent has right now. So I'm pretty excited about her book. So she's super knowledgeable. I love you. I adore you. So I cannot wait. Cannot wait until your new release. So let us know.
And what are you reading from tonight?
Yes. I'm going to read from Basis of Comparison, which released yesterday. Let's back up.
Yay. We love it when we get to have authors on in their birthday week. It's so much fun.
Yes. And you may be interested in this. I have a paranormal dating agency called Paris in Springtime.
Ooh.
And I'm also a part of a group called the Once Upon a Villain group, where we actually take villains and we give them a second chance.
Oh, fun.
And so this particular story is set in the world of Paris in Springtime, but it is part of the Once Upon a Villain series. So I had the Goblin King himself. No codpiece, though. But I had the Goblin King.
Not without a codpiece.
No codpiece. He's a little bit more modern. I also had to change his name because Jim Henson owns that. So I have Oliver King. Yes, Oliver King.
Very cool. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun.
And I have a Labrador.
Now, is that in this book that you're reading tonight or the next one?
Yes.
Nice. Awesome. Yay. I'm so excited.
So how about you, Dahlia? What do you write and what have you been working on? Do you have any news to share with us?
Well, I'm Dahlia Rose, and I publish under various genres. I haven't limited myself to one genre. So I basically just, if I see it and the creative aspect hits me, I write paranormal, I write shifters, I've written vampires, contemporary, cowboys, fantasy. One of my major series was the Paladin Dragon series, and that has 10 books so far. The last book releases, I think, the end of December, in an 11-book series where I built the world Paladin and these warrior dragons that, help and take care of Earth's realm. The whole premise is that Odin created this whole new world with these dragon shifters to protect Earth. So I've been building this whole world since 2008. So wow. 12 years of books, and the final one will come out in 2020, come hell or high water.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because they need to, I can't go into 2021 with these guys on my shoulders. I have 2 releases. His Highland Queen was a historical interracial, and it's set between Scotland and my home island, Barbados. And I'm going to be reading from my current release, Where She Lays, which is a contemporary fairy tale, and it's a retelling of The Princess and the Pea.
Oh, fun!
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Goodness, we got 2 amazing authors tonight. I think this is a different genre for us.
Oh, well, we have a Scottish lady in the house.
We've done shifters, but yeah.
Little known fact, a Scottish lady.
You are?
Yes. You think I'm kidding? I'm serious.
I don't think you're kidding. I don't think
I am actually titled in Scotland as Lady. My government name, literally, and my husband is Lord.
That's way cool.
By the plot of land thing.
Yes, I did. That is so awesome.
You buy like a little square foot of land and you become a lord or a lady.
Yes.
Very cool.
The next time we have a meeting, you need to put your name up there as Lady Tia.
I probably did. Lady Tia. My husband addressed our anniversary cards that way.
Oh, that's so funny.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
One of the facts of when I was writing this, my husband's basically into his ancestry, and doing this book and taking him back to Barbados, we actually found out that his Scottish ancestors actually lived in Barbados, the McPherson family. And I'm like, okay, well, we were destined to marry them because you're from Barbados, I'm from Barbados. Well, your people are from Barbados. So he really, and so we both have kilts. And I have the bodice and everything. So when we play dress up, we go all out.
Okay.
Yeah. I found out that I am related to Robert the Bruce, and my husband is related to William Wallace. So I feel like we should not be married, but maybe we settled the conflict. I don't know.
Robert, maybe why there's such great tension.
Wow.
He did redeem himself.
Yeah.
So he became the king. So have you seen Pine in the what is it called? The something king. But Chris Pine played Robert the Bruce, and it's on Netflix, and it's excellent.
I have not seen that.
No, I haven't seen it. No, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, my dad's big into genealogy. And so I popped my husband in there, and we're just like, oh shit, we're not supposed to be married.
I don't think it goes. Yeah, I don't think that matters. I don't think
now it doesn't. No.
Well, we need to get to some reading because we're going to run out of time.
We're going to yap all the whole time. I'm sorry.
So Dahlia is going to read first, and you want to go ahead and set it up, and we'll leave you up here on the screen, and then when you're done, we will come back.
Sure thing. Well, Where She Lays, like I said, is a contemporary retelling of The Princess and the Pea. In this family, we have a mom who is very overprotective of her 7 sons. They're rich. And instead of a pea, it is the Royale family gold coin. So the scene I am reading from is right after Jewel, the heroine. Her little RV Airstream was stolen, and she had to go stay at the family mansion with the Royales. She and Patrick have been dating in secret because of his mother, and now she's at the house. He has to try to figure out a way to keep her away from the coin and his mother from going, as he calls her, crazy wackadoo parent. This is right after her first night sleeping in the house, and his mother has brought in, because everything that she has been stolen, and his mother has brought in her fashionista to help. So here we go. I'm hoping I might make a few mistakes. I'm so sorry in advance. Now, why is there a Linda? Jewel asked. Get dressed and we'll go downstairs. You'll see soon enough, Patrick said to her before giving her a kiss. See you in a few minutes. I'm going to my room for a second to think about baseball so I don't knock out before we don't knock out our banisters on the way downstairs. That sounds ominous, Jewel commented as he walked to the door. The downstairs part, not your taco. I'll go with that again. The Royale Ball is next weekend, and we have been invited more like summoned, Patrick told her, grinning. I think that's why Linda's here. Oh, Lord, I miss my camper already, Jewel murmured. Me too, Patrick said, and he meant every word. 3 minutes, and I'll be back. In his head, plans rattle around, permanent things that never entered his thoughts before when he met Jewel. Patrick made his way to the bedroom and washed his hands before splashing cold water on his face. All he had to do was to keep this very independent princess in his life and manage to make her part of the Royale family so they could spend the rest of their lives together. Linda was his mother's fashion specialist. The woman was the size of a pencil and tall to boot. There was no curves to her, none at all. Her pinched face was always neutral. When she was happy, sad, indifferent, no one knew. There was literally no expression. But when she smiled, it changed her face completely. It was like looking into the sun. It's obvious her husband married her because of that smile. In a few minutes, he and Jewel came downstairs, and both women looked up at them as they descended the steps. I feel like I'm walking into the lion's den, Jewel said in a low voice. It's worse than that, Patrick said. Never break eye contact. Jewel looked at him in alarm. What? And he laughed. I'm kidding. There you two are. I was just going to take the elevator up to start looking for you, Maureen Royale said. There's an elevator in this place, Jewel asked. Around the corner from the bedroom, he told her. Mrs. Royale, thank you again for allowing me to stay in your home, Jewel said. My dear, it's okay. How did you... I'm sorry, we have the little printer thing going on. There's an entire truck of clothing parked in my spot. Mr. Royale came through the door, grumbling loudly, and cut off his wife's words. He spied Jewel and moved forward. Oh, hello. This is the Jewel. I have heard so much about you, and you've sent me such delicious treats. Yes, sir, I'm very happy to meet you, Jewel said. We are not doing any of that formal nonsense. He pushed her hand down and he embraced her in a warm hug before pulling her aside. I won't hold the fact that these said wings and cake are also healthy, but it tastes way better than the crap they've been feeding me around here. I feel like the chocolate cake and the cheesecake were traitorous move towards dessert since they were gluten-free and low-fat, but I like you. We'll not have words. Okay. Jewel's voice held a note of concern. Paul, his wife said, I was just going to ask Jewel how she slept. Very well, actually. I mean, I don't usually sleep well outside of my own place or in hotels or whatever, but for some reason, this was amazing. I woke up feeling refreshed, like I had 2 days of great rest at a spa. Hear that, Maureen? She slept like a baby. Wrapped in clouds, Paul said smugly. Well, isn't that interesting, Mom? Patrick added with a victorious smile. Jewel looked at all of them. Okay, what am I missing? Nothing, dear. Ignore them. Maureen came and took her by the shoulders. Linda's going to measure you, and then we can look into finding you some clothes. She can just look at you and know what size you are. Linda looked at her with a critical eye and ordered in a thick French accent, "Turn for me." Jewel sent Patrick a worried look and did as she was told. He felt sorry for her instantly. He has been under the gaze of Linda more than once in the past few years. You had to wonder if Linda was immortal or a vampire since she hadn't aged or possibly eaten since he was 15. Size 6 in clothes, 7 in shoes, 36D in the bosom. The white streak in your hair is very passé. Young ladies do not need to dye their hair in unusual ways to make a statement. My statement is that you can shove your assessment where the sun doesn't shine. Jewel snapped. This is all real, lady. I was born with it. Jewel's lips twitched, and her rare smile broke free. I like this one. She has fire. Come now, we dress you. What exactly just happened? Jewel asked Patrick. They watched Linda move towards the door, and his mother clapped her hands in delight before following her with a big old grin. I must be in bizarro world, Jewel muttered, and I'm starving. Well, we can take care of that. Can't we, son? Patrick's father asked. Yes, we can. We can definitely do that. They were heading in the kitchen when the women rolled in 2 large racks of clothes. Patrick watched Jewel balk at the amount, and soon they were engaged in conversation about style and her likes and dislikes. Patrick and his father whipped up omelets, French toast, and with the help of Melly, orange juice and coffee for everyone to have. She took bites between trying on clothes in the downstairs powder room, and soon she was set up with jeans, tops, new sneakers down to her underwear, plus a green dress for the gala that weekend. I hope I haven't gone over. Jewel, if my mother didn't want you to have it, she wouldn't have given it to you, Patrick said before she could even say anything about payment. Accept it for the spirit of how it was given. I'm not accustomed to people trying to give me something for nothing. She hunched her shoulders and shoved her hand in the pocket of her new jeans. Have a little faith. Good things can happen for a reason. Patrick pulled her into his arms for a hug. I'll try, Mr. Bright Side of Life, she teased. In any case, I have to go to work. Are you sure you have to go? Patrick asked huskily. I was thinking we could go out and spend a day together. She poked him in the chest. I have to work, Patrick. I have bills to pay and student loans. Don't even say I can pay them for you. I wasn't going to, he denied, but in all actuality, the words were on the tip of his tongue. Good, Jewel said, as she stood on her tiptoes to place a kiss on his lips. See you later. Stretch. I'll wait up. Sweets, he called after her with a grin. From outside, he heard the truck start up, and he went back inside and downstairs to the kitchen. He missed her already. When he was there, he knew that only one person could hold his heart, and that was Jewel. And that was my reading.
Awesome. Yay. Thank you very much.
Yes.
A little bit of floundering there, but I found it. I decided to, print words halfway. I was like, oh, so that's what we're doing to me. Nice.
We roll with things around here. We just go with it. So
we do.
No worries. No, that was great.
Thank you.
So we always have one question for now, but I think we should get to TB right away, just so that we hear you, and then we'll do the questions after, because I know I have a few. But Linda does want to know, what are you all doing for Halloween?
For Halloween, my whole front yard is decked out. If you ever go on my Facebook page, you can see I've got a 3-headed dog. We have a UFO space landing crash, graveyard, a spooky tree, a talking head scarecrow. We even have a pit to hell that my husband built. He's the crafty one. He built all this stuff. So every year he adds something, and everything either moves or makes scary sounds. So we usually hand out candy. We're going to try to make it, socially distanced this year. Mm-hmm. So we are going to set up a tent in the driveway. We're going to put up a nice table, make it spooky, add one of the coffins he built, and we're going to package up the candy in little bags, and then we're just going to use one of those claw things and drop it in the little candy.
Oh, fun. Mm-hmm.
And that way everyone's masked up and everything, and we don't have to worry about anyone getting sick or worrying about, we want parents to know that their kids are going to be safe if they come to the house to pick up candy.
Yeah. Nice.
Candy.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
How about you, TB? Do you go all out like that?
Well, I'm a new homeowner. Last year, I was just excited just to hand out candy dressed as Batgirl. This year, I actually bought an inflatable, but I haven't put it out in the yard. I guess the first step was to buy it and look at it for like 2 months, and then maybe tomorrow I'll put it out. I'm gonna put it out. It's a unicorn dressed as a skeleton. It is awesome.
That needs to be out in the yard.
Yes, he is so cute.
You better get to that.
I'm gonna put her out there. And then I had this idea for this DIY for like these ghost lanterns made out of milk jugs.
Yeah. Are you saving your milk jugs?
Still got to draw a face on there. The time is just getting away from me. I'll probably on the 31st put out their decorations. People are going to be like, what is wrong with you?
I want to see your unicorn as a skeleton. So you'll have to set it up and then post a picture on our page so we can see it.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I have the perfect neighborhood for it. Because my neighbor, all the houses here are old. Like my house is 89 years old.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
And then there's a person 2 houses down that drives a hearse with flames on it.
Oh my gosh.
On
purpose?
Are you next? That's
year round? Do they drive it year round?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they did. At first I was confused, but then I said, are you next? Is that their business?
First we're confused, then she was petrified.
Exactly. I almost wrecked my car because I was laughing.
Yeah. Are they like morticians?
I tried looking up their business.
I don't know, Dawn. A hearse with flames on the sides. It doesn't speak to it.
All right, let's see.
That's not your normal funeral director, but
it's possibly. Not. But there's some of those, especially nowadays with like the millennials, and I guess I'm a millennial. I identify as like the greatest generation and not a millennial. I'm just gonna put that out there.
I am right on the line. I'm right on the line. I just claim as millennial.
I'm going to 45 next week on October 29th. Probably.
I'm going to claim my own generation.
Exactly. Become a Zennial with me. Become a Zennial.
Cool. Yeah, Zennial. Okay. We'll call it. It's the Zennials, a.k.a. the cool generation. That's us. And if you want to come, you have to join the cool club. Exactly. But millennials, I mean, I could totally see them being like, when I die, I want my hearse to have like flames on the side. Like I can see that.
Why not? My husband would honor that. My parents, on the other hand, would probably be like,
yeah. We need to hear from Tia before we run out of time.
I know. I was going to say that. Yeah. Because I'm writing down the questions right now. So
okay. So let's let Tia read, and then we will come back and answer questions. So make sure if you have questions, put them in the comments, and Dawn's going to keep track. All right. So Tia, it's all up to you. And we will see you afterwards. Go ahead and set it up however you need to. And you guys, Tia is really nervous, so be nice to her. All right. Yes, you're going to do just fine. You got this. You're going to be fine.
So I will be reading from my release, from yesterday's release, Basis of Comparison. And I'm I'm going to read from chapter 22. I actually selected this chapter because it is a low point for the heroine, where something super embarrassing that has really shaken her faith in herself has happened, and the hero comes through for her, and she realizes, at least on some kind of unconscious level, subconscious level, that she loves him. Serafina. I gave myself a once-over in the mirror. In less than an hour, I would be in the presence of the most intelligent creature I've ever encountered. My mother, Terry Jean Raziel. If I had a bad day, she'd sense it the moment she saw me. Then the questions would begin. It was too soon to talk about what happened, and I didn't want her meddling any further. The Paris in Springtime application was enough. If I didn't figure out how to deal with Oliver myself, then it wouldn't work. He may be a sure thing, but he wasn't easy. The Goblin King had trust issues with the heart. Me leaving him downstairs naked in just his shoes didn't do anything to change that. I still can't believe I did that. You can do this, I told my reflection. One step at a time, get through breakfast first, then come up with a game plan for Oliver. Nothing came to mind so far, but then it was a toughie. I opened my front door. The spring morning held promise in the scent of cherry blossoms. It wasn't boiling Virginia hot yet. Andrew was likely to serve breakfast on his patio, where we could enjoy the mid-morning sun and gentle breeze. Fresh air could clear minds. Maybe it would declutter mine. I locked the door for my curious natural neighbors. I had to make a drive at least once a week to keep the suspicion down. That and to keep my car battery changed. Modern cars needed to start about every week or so just to keep the computers running. Andrew lived in the Suffolk portion of Tidewater. It was a solid 30-minute drive from the section of Chesapeake where I live, which was more than enough for my compact car. They didn't call Tidewater the Seven Cities for nothing. Our metropolis had a little of everything: isolation, suffocation, and everything in between, with a little bit of southern charm. The place was a hotbed for the supernatural because of its aesthetic and old world, new world charm. It was home. I started the car and traveled towards my destiny for the day, my battle to appear untroubled in front of my mother. Will Serafina succeed or fail? Tune in next week for the next episode of On the Wings of a Seraphim. Same awkward time, the same awkward channel, I said aloud as I traveled down the expressway to I-64. I cracked myself up. It was better than feeling sorry for what could have been, and it passed the time. In no time, I arrived in the driveway of Andrew's neighborhood. The calm, well-leveled nerves melted away. A cold dread dripped down the back of my sundress. By the time I arrived, a full-blown panic attack had a vice around my heart. Was I actually going to go in there? It wasn't even about Oliver completely. The expectation and explanation about the school would happen without him there to run interference. My mother would find out what I did for a living. Not good. Knock, knock. I lifted my head. Oliver stood outside my car with a look of concern. And without a thought, I passed through the glass and into his arms. I let him hold me until my heart rate got under control and my blood quieted. How did you get here? I prefer not to say. He squeezed me, but the short story is that I followed you. That would be creepy if I didn't need you. I buried my face into his chest. I was makeup free, so I was guilt-free. I'm sorry about last night. We'll work through it, he said. What kind of boyfriend would I be if I gave up on you? Like the other ones? Are you sure about this? If you go inside, there's no turning back. Understood. He tilted my head back. I knew that last night. He kissed me. He's a naughty boy after all. I can get into that. A little cosplay here and there. Never hurt anyone. Not in my yard, people. I will get the hose, Andrew called from the front door. I hissed, then gave Oliver a quick kiss on the lips. Thanks for the rescue. You know I'm here if you need a bodyguard, right? His lips curled into a sexy smile. I can safely say that with my old world values, I never considered it until now, but the idea has merit. I grabbed his hand to lead him through the front door. My female pride was a bit bruised by his rescue. My heart and sanity appreciated it way more. Anyway, he owed me. I took out at least 2 guys in that 5 brownies attack. We formed a team, as we should. When one of us was down, then the other lent a hand. And we could ignore the sex thing until I figured out how to get around it. Inside the foyer, my brother tugged me into an awkward bear hug that he seemed to reserve for whenever he wanted to annoy me with affection. Andrew! He laughed and released me. Sarah! I glanced at Oliver. He flinched. However, the cold glare wasn't present. Andrew was the only family member that called me that anyway. Oh my God, excuse me. There is a spider in here. I'm gonna die. Ah! God! Oh, we're gonna get it together. I glanced at Oliver. He flinched. However, the cold glare wasn't present. Andrew was my only family member that called me consistently anyway. And this is, Andrew asked. I stood next to Oliver. He wrapped his arm around me before holding out his hand to my brother. Oliver King, he said. Andrew snorted, then took his hand. Nice to meet you in a social setting, Oliver. Are you done hazing me now? I asked. Are you done hazing him now? I asked. Not by a long shot. Dad and Mom are outside and on the patio. Breakfast is up at 5. Oh, and you might want to hurry. Maya was telling them all about her new school. Oliver's hand tensed. He leaned closer to me. Since you're the strong one, I'm going to let you protect me. He had jokes. It was nice to see his softer side. Christoph called him Ollie. That name was a natural endearment. It came across as personal. For him to share his tender side with me was sweet. However, he should aim his humor at Andrew and not me. I poked him lightly in the ribs. He laughed and jerked under my touch. For good measure, I prodded him again. He released me. Oliver was ticklish. I filed that away for later. New couples, Andrew said in mock disgust. This is a family environment around here. Save that ish for when you get home. For a response, I kissed Oliver like I did last night. The heat of the attraction flipped to life like a butane torch. My brother's whistle, however, ruined it. So, it looks like you'll be pregnant inside of a year. My brother motioned towards the patio at the back of the house. Hey, you better hurry up and get to know the rest of the family before you're chained to us. I lunged at him. My brother grinned and I danced backward. Oh, you improved, Sarah, but you're still too slow. I groaned. You're right, he does remind me of Christoph, Oliver said. When did I say that? I didn't recall ever mentioning Andrew to Oliver. Half the time I was too busy trying to be calm and collected around him. You mumbled to yourself a lot, he said. That was true. I had to work on that. Let's go. I tugged on his hand. He didn't bulge. A tight panic threatened to seize my throat. I did it again. I pushed too hard. Need a minute? I asked. He nodded, then glanced over me appreciatively. You look beautiful. My face heated, but I did a little twirl in my sundress for him. It was a floor-length sunny yellow button-down sundress with white daisies. I wanted all the positive vibes I could muster. I had the buttons unfastened from the bottom, enough to make it fashionable and a little sexy. The plan, at least what I was going to tell my parents, had been that my boyfriend and I were going to meet up later. But then Oliver showed up. I never imagined him seeing me in a dress. And you, sir, look handsome in the second take on Friday's outfit. He wore the powder blue button-down and khaki pants from Friday night. The same clothing that the owl took from me. Mr. Owls is yours, isn't he? Christoph didn't let him in. You did. He held me close. The whole situation is complicated, and you're at your limit right now. After breakfast, we can talk. I wanted immediate answers, and people in the desert want ice water. As much as I wanted to believe that knowing Oliver Was my mate contributed to considerable character growth? I knew it hadn't. If he said something complicated, I'd take off until I could deal with it. Weeks, months, years later. You're not wrong, I said, about me being at my limit. He kissed my nose, one step at a time. I took his hand. Here we go. They don't bite. Andrew might, since he acts like he's 5 most of the time. Everyone else is normal. Good to know. He stepped through the patio door, then helped me. I didn't need it, but I wasn't going to split hairs. He was polite. Besides, there could be an ongoing balloon fight or a prank from Andrew. Oliver would make an excellent shield. Then I could avenge him. There were no pranks on the small wooden deck that led to the patio area. A large fabric pavilion provided shade for 4 rectangular tables underneath it. The tables were in a square formation, Andrew's favorite shape. Why he didn't like circles? It was anyone's guess. The pavilion's side panels were pulled back with a decorative cording and a potted plant decorated in each corner. Christine's handiwork was evident in the decoration. I love how she could elevate even the humblest of arrangements. The lovely breakfast tent and the wafting scent of pancakes, eggs, bacon, spiced apples, and sausage in the air made for a picturesque breakfast. My stomach growled. My face heated again, but I refused to be ashamed. I was a warrior when I wasn't a teacher. We marched on our stomachs. It smells great, he said. Yeah, it does. You have to try my sister Evangeline's spiced apples. They are to die for. I led him down the deck stairs. Maya waited for us. Your Majesty. She curtsied for Oliver, then hugged me. Hi, Auntie. Hi, Maya. I would have thought you'd be with the cousin crew. I tugged one of her braids affectionately. She shook her head. I'm the only one who's had etiquette class, and I know what to do right now. I have to announce, Maya, that's not necessary. Consider the situation like school. I'm here as your aunt's guest. She grinned and then leaned closer. You mean you're dating my aunt? My heart fluttered. Maya? Oliver held up our joined hands in front of her. Yes, though I would appreciate discretion. I value my privacy. I got you. Her smile widened. Just don't tell Miss Post that I didn't announce you, but I did you the curtsy as she taught us. I will let her know that you were an able student, he said. Maya nodded, did a quick bow, then ran off to join her cousins at the kids' table. You don't have to act differently because of me. On the contrary, I do. And it's fine. He squeezed my hand. I haven't been to a family gathering in centuries. We can save my status for later. There's no need to throw everything out all at once. That's right. It was just the 3 of them, and they were all single. Then hopefully mine won't scare you off with a million questions. Might as well start at the top. I steered him to my parents. They talked to Christine off to the side. The moment we approached, she went to the patio tables, probably to get a better view without being in the line of fire. Oliver, these are my parents, Terry and Kane Raziel. Parents, this is my boyfriend, Oliver King. And that's not the end of chapter 22, but that's all I have.
This is so good.
Thank you for sharing with us.
And a huge spider came and I lost track of it.
That's funny. No,
I was cracking up. I am glad that you were muted because I saw you taking on the spider and I was like, should we go back in? Should we save her?
I'm going to die. You said I'm going to die, and I felt it.
Mm-hmm. And that can I say about your book, like if my brother was there saying that, like, oh, you're pregnant, I would be like smacking him so hard. I smack him around hard. I mean, I was the feisty one growing up. But we do have some questions. So what, for both of you, what was your favorite book when you were a child?
Ooh, that's a lot. I had 2 of them. One was What Katie Did, the whole Susan Cooley series, the What Katie Did series, and To Kill a Mockingbird.
Mm.
I was probably much shadier. I like Nancy Drew. I did a lot of crime stories when I was a kid.
Nice.
To be perfectly honest with you.
Okay.
Are you still looking for the spider?
Yes. It was huge.
All right. Are you plotters? And do you know ahead of time if your books will be a series?
I am a plantser. I do both. If the story is short, I can straight out just ride by the seat of my pants. But for longer stories, I have to plot it because otherwise I won't. I'll just be all over the place. Now, I will tell you that I don't have detailed plotting. It's like an outline of ideas. So it's kind of like, like these little points on MapQuest from back in the day. And I'll work my way there however it happens. Sometimes I detour and then I got to course correct, that kind of thing. But that's pretty much what I do.
For me, I'm a little bit of both. Like she said, for short stories, I can wing it. But I have my first book coming out with Hallmark next year, October 21st, 2020. And it's going to be Mistletoe in Juneau, hence I want to go to Alaska. And so for that was a full-length novel. And when I plot hard. Okay. So I mean, everything is plotted out. And then I print it out and I follow that thing like a precise roadmap because my OCD kicks in and I'm like, don't you miss a point. Don't you miss one point. So I think it's a little bit of both for me. I like both journeys because one is a little bit more concise and then the other one is like an adventure. It skills both parts of my whole creativity process.
So are you a sweet or how do you define your work then, Dahlia?
I write sweet and I write steamy. For Hallmark, it will be sweet because, it's Hallmark and it's one of their Christmas, one of the Christmas books, hopefully movie. And you have to keep it within the guidelines of Hallmark and keeping it very sweet. But it's a fish out of water. I took my heroine from New York. And she is one of those influencers that y'all see on social media. And I dropped her in Ayuk Bay, Juneau. And my hero is a military veteran, and he's an amputee. So, and he's the sheriff of the town. So it's kind of like her having a lot of hijinks, him trying to figure out himself. And they have this connect going on. But it's really sweet, and I loved writing it. Mm-hmm. It was like a break from the steamy for a little bit. So I like writing both.
Yep. Nice. And do you use a pseudonym for your steamy versus sweet?
Oh, no.
Or it's all under you? Okay.
I only have one pseudonym, and that's Billy Arsenu, and that's for when I'm writing my serial killer crime thriller thing.
Oh, fun.
That's I have to separate that part out. That is not romance.
Those aren't love stories, I bet.
No. Yeah. So we do have another. Dahlia, is there anything, and I'm going to spin off of this, so wait for like 2 or 3 because 2 of them are my question too. Okay. Is there anything that you won't write? And do you like combined genres? And what's your favorite one?
What I won't write. Dino porn. Those books were weird. But I read across a really wide genre, and I like to write across a wide genre. For me, one of my favorite to write is probably interracial military romance, because I am the wife of an honorary vet. He was deployed 3 times, and so when he came home, this was in like 2005 when he came home, and that at that point there wasn't a lot of what the military has now for protection against IEDs and different kinds of attacks. And he came home and he's 100% disabled. He got blown up 3 different times and still.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah. And a lot of the guys that came home with him came home broken and bruised and, just not only mentally, but physically. Yeah. And a lot of them lost wives and husbands, and because they couldn't manage this kind of new harsh reality. So that's one of my favorite to write, because I can give them, in my way, a happy ending, even if it's not in real life. It's kind of catharsis to give them a happy ending. So that's one of my favorite to write.
Yeah. And was your husband in the Army?
Yep. Sergeant first class.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I live on an army base. Like, we're Coast Guard, but we live on an army base. They were the ones that took us in during the shutdown when when they weren't paying the Coast Guard, and the Army's like, come on, just come chill with us for a couple of years. So we're like, all right. And they're the best. I love the Army. Like, they are so sweet. Like, the Navy will be like, oh, Coast Guard, baby Navy. And the Army will be like, yeah, the Marines
are kind of like, you know, but Army.
Crayon eaters is what they call them. Yeah. But you know what? Army is cool as SHI blank. I spelled it, Dylan. I spelled it. I didn't say it. They're cool.
Do we have any other questions, Dawn?
We do. We have one from Karen. It's a long one, so
it's Karen's question. She sent them to me ahead of time. Karen, I think, threw all of her questions in one thing. So do them one at a time.
Okay. All right.
And we're actually over 9 o'clock already. So
see, I told you it was. Well, I didn't tell you. Dylan said it would go fast, but usually I do. Okay, so if you had the opportunity to live anywhere in the world for a year while writing a book that took place in the same setting, where would you choose?
Alaska, definitely.
Yeah.
That's my go-to place.
Tia.
I need to hear the question one more time.
Yeah. Okay, if you could live anywhere in the world where your book takes place, where would it be?
Oh, Hampton Roads. That's where I live
now. Yeah. All right, and how many drafts do your books generally go through before publication?
Mine go through 3. So it's first draft, second draft, and then we do line editing before publication.
It depends. These days, because of my writing process, I go through it, obviously a first draft. I think I'm going through it about 5 times now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, about 5 times.
Average. That's good. What advice would you give to a writer working on their first book?
Take your time. Do research.
Mine is completely different. Go ahead.
Take your time. Yeah, take your time. Why are you writing your book? Are you writing your book for you? Are you writing this because you want to become an author and have an author business? Because depending on your answer will be dependent on the next piece of advice I will tell you, which would be, if you're looking to make it as a business, I would say you need to make sure that you're writing what your readers want to see, and not just write whatever you want to write whatever you want. You can do that, but there is a cost. So make sure.
For me, I would say get the first draft down. When the first draft is down, then go back and edit and go back and refine it. Because if you keep going back and editing a page and editing a chapter, you're never going to get finished. Get that idea down on paper, then refine it. I've been writing since 2005. This is actually March of 2020 was year 15 for me. Oh, wow. And I've got over 7, maybe 8 dozen books published now. Oh my gosh. And in all of that time, I've always felt like the story has to come out first, and then I have to polish it like a stone. You know, you find those nice shiny stones, you get that story out first, and then you polish it. And this has to be a thing that you love. It's like Tia said, if this is something for you to just do to market, and this is going to be an income, you have to look at your reader base. And if this is something that you truly love, you are going to be able to get your reader base to love what you love too. It has to be something written well and concisely, and something that's going to draw them in. Do not go cookie cutter like, oh, I've seen this book. Let me write a combined shifter, vampire, Mothman, bat thing and see what happens. Make a story that's your own and don't look for the cookie cutters, basically.
Okay, and so what is a significant way that your book has changed since the first draft? If you don't have one, then you can say pass.
Pass.
This one didn't necessarily change since the first draft. It is more like it changed from my plans.
Yeah.
I will tell you, I discovered some things about my characters that I was unaware of, and I had to compensate with plot for that. I found, well, hopefully someone will read the book, but I found out that my heroine has problems having a orgasm.
Oh.
I figured that out as they were about to do it. I know as they were doing it, I found this out. Just like they did. And so then we had to put sex therapy into the plot.
I love those little changes that your characters throw at you as an author. You're just like, really? Now I got to go back and edit at least half the book. But
yes.
this is
in the front, and you're like, oh man. Poor people.
Yeah, so I think it's fun to see what pops up. That's what makes it so fun.
It does. So what do you need in your writing space to help you stay focused?
I need my plot Bible. I have a plot Bible. Basically, it's this thick book that has in all of my inspiration, all of my ideas, all of my drafts, and all of my, synopsises and everything. And it has in pictures that are like I kind of like collect pictures that are pretty. And or things that inspire me. So there's stuff in there. It's like houses and abandoned buildings and flowers and everything. So I have to have that. I need to have the TV on in the background, more than likely to Supernatural or the ID channel.
Interesting.
Because it's either Supernatural or murder.
And I've heard a lot of authors that like to have movies playing while they're writing.
Yeah. And
this is background noise. Yep.
And I need quiet and like an area. Like my husband is revamping my office for me, a mess, and he's building me what I have called Dahlia's nest, which is basically going to be a loft in my office where I can put a bunch of pillows on it, and I can sit there and I can relax and I can write, because remote learning with children is annoying. Up the stairs, down the stairs, out the door, in the door. Mom, can I have? Mom, can you? Mom, can't. I'm like, why am I here? And this is why I want to go to Alaska all the more, because I could get snowed in a little cabin and I could write, and they couldn't mom me to death.
Oh, so but you have to be alone in Alaska in a cabin.
I'm okay.
I was going to say, what happens is you get snowed in with your kids.
Yeah.
And then you can't send them outside. I don't know how old your kids are, but we could talk about kids and distance learning probably for the next 24 hours.
Yeah, we totally could.
If kids went to Mavis Academy, you'd be okay because they could still go to school.
Yeah, I got 4 kids. I can talk about all of them. Oh my god.
I have 5 and a grandson that likes to eat my face. So he has 2 teeth and he likes to.
Oh, funny.
Kissing, but
so
kissing
if you could spend a day with another popular author, whom would it be? And that's what I was trying to do. I'm apologizing. I popped that up there. Dylan was giving me a look. I was like, I thought I was trying to read the rest of the question, but I'm assuming that's whom would it be? So
Jim Butcher.
I didn't hear you. Who'd you say?
Jim Butcher.
Oh, yeah.
Dresden Files.
Okay.
And Codex Alera, which I'm actually going through right now.
Me, it would probably be Stephen King, because a lot of his books screwed me up mentally as a child, and I still read them anyway.
Yep.
I mean, The Stand made me wonder if I should. The Stand almost sent me back into religion, and I escaped. I left Catholic church and everything, and I read the stand, and I'm like, so is this a sign? But I love all his work, and I just think that he has a brilliant brain that I would just like to take in there for a little bit,
So do you ever get nervous whenever you see a whole bunch of crows, and you like, yes, I'm gonna make it? Because that's what I do.
You probably in my head asked my husband for a pet crow. He's like, really? I'm like, if I have 3 or 4, I have a murder of crows.
Right. What you do is you get 2, get Phobos and Deimos.
See? I like you. You're awesome.
You've got me wondering now. I wonder what like romance collaboration with Stephen King would look like.
Yeah,
wouldn't that be interesting?
It would. My mind lends itself to that
where
kind
he
of
like
stuff.
Derry, Maine, where he likes to set everything. That'd be
interesting.
Just know that when you see Randall Flagg, you're in trouble.
that'd be like a really dark romance.
Yeah.
Or
did you get all of Karen's questions done, Dawn? Or
I did. Yeah, I think I got them all.
I was going to say, there's one more. There's one more question I want to make sure we get to, and then we've gone over. But I don't know how to say her name. Licha, I think, wants to know: do you get to design your book covers?
Oh, I didn't see that one.
Yes.
So do you do all your designs, or do you work with a designer?
I have a cover artist. I have 3 cover artists, and they're like, they live in my brain because anything I tell them, they are able to put on, and make the image for me. One of my favorite is Erin Damron Hall from EDH Graphics. The cover for Where She Lays and His Highland Queen are hers, and Erin is amazing. And I told her that she had like a suite in there now, because I'm like, I just tell you stuff and you just build it. And she's amazing. So yeah, I give her the ideas and she creates them for me.
I am a cover artist. So
awesome.
Yes. I make all
other amazing things.
Yeah, I make all my covers. And I'm getting even better. I can make even more complex covers, like sci-fi covers.
Ooh.
Be on the lookout.
Yep. I have dabbled in Photoshop and had a little bit of fun, but I don't do it often enough that I remember how to do things. And then I had to go back and relearn the next time. So it's definitely one of those skills that you've got it, or, you can develop it, but it takes a long time.
It does.
To learn that stuff.
I don't have the patience.
Yeah.
Or the technical, the savvy. I'd be just poking at it with like a stick. So I'd be like, I can't. I just I give them the idea and let them build my dream. Mm-hmm. That way I don't break my computer or cry.
Well, and I think when you find a cover designer that gets you, that's amazing. Because I think as an author, the book is supposed to convey the tone, or the cover is supposed to convey the tone of your book. But as an author, sometimes, at least I do, I get kind of like caught up on all these little, details and stuff. And I have a vision of my own. And then when you try to explain that to someone, sometimes it comes through and sometimes it doesn't. And so to find someone that you vibe with is awesome.
She does. I'm going to say Dylann always she sends me her covers and she's like, does this look right to you? And I'm like, it looks beautiful. No, but his chest is so weird. And it's like,
I get fixated on very minute details. So
you're not as bad as my mother, Dylann. You're not as bad as my mom.
That one pec muscle that looks bigger than the other.
I know. The little things that probably no one in there, no one would ever even notice. But yeah, those are the little things. So funny.
And that can be hard to let go sometimes.
Well,
I understand.
And I think too, and I don't know how you feel about this, but when you're writing the book and you picture the hero and the heroine in your mind, and then I don't know, have you done any traditional books, or are you both indie?
Yeah, I'm indie right now until
I'm indie. I have done two traditional as a anthology.
Okay. So yeah, when you do traditional books, sometimes you have a lot of say and sometimes you have none. And so I think that's what is so interesting when you are self-publishing and you have all the control. Then it's just a matter of communicating to the artist. And then, you know, like with Hallmark, you will probably not have a whole lot of say in what your cover looks like because it has to fit their brand.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting because, some of the things it's like, oh my gosh, when I was writing, you know, in my head, it's like the hero has like black hair and they've given me a blonde. And I mean, it's just funny sometimes. So, you know, do you get to pick your own covers? It's like sometimes and sometimes you don't. And all in all, you know, as long as it's conveying the theme of the book.
Yeah.
Right.
I will tell you.
Yeah, the Montana Mountain series.
Oh.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, even though I do my own cover, sometimes it still doesn't happen what my vision was. Like Basis of Comparison, that was not my first attempt. That was probably like my third. Originally, I had this like, because it takes place at a school in certain pieces because Oliver is a principal at a school. She is a teacher at the school. That's her cover job while she's trying to protect the unicorns. And I had this classroom setting with alchemy and magic playing, and then him wearing a scarf and all this other crazy stuff. And I said, and it just didn't work out. And so then it just turns out to be a maze with her standing in a transmutation circle and an owl in the background.
Sometimes simple is best.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. It took me a while to get to that point. And then at first I still didn't love it. I said, this is just a placeholder, and then one day I just loved it.
Well, we can grow on you too. Yeah, that works.
We are almost 20 minutes past the hour. We've only
had one more
episode. We've only had one more episode.
Okay. I mean, we don't.
So we love it.
Yeah, we don't cut off it when we as long as there's still good conversation happening. Yeah, we don't want to cut anybody off. But thank you both for being with us. And before we wrap it up, you both have awesome giveaways going on the Romance Happy Hour Facebook page, and we'll leave those up through the weekend. So if you're watching the replay and you haven't had a chance to enter yet, go and check those out. I know you're both giving away copies of your recent releases, I think is what both of them I think are your most recent releases. So
yes.
So there's still plenty of time to get in on that. And then hop on over. We are doing book club is in the Romance Happy Hour book club group. And so if you're interested in joining us for that, again, we're reading Dawn's book, High Heels and Cowboy Boots, and that'll be November 5th. And Dawn's got a special giveaway. You're giving away a signed copy of a signed paperback, right?
Yeah, a paperback and a
and the wine glass.
And a wine glass, a Romance Happy Hour wine glass. Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And it's going to be etched. So
very cool.
Dishwasher safe. So
Dawn does some pretty cool stuff. So we've shown off your crafting skills quite a bit. So make sure you check all that out, and I guess we'll hopefully see you at book club. Otherwise, our next episode of Romance Happy Hour, we're only having one episode of Romance Happy Hour in November because we always do the second and fourth Thursday, and that puts us on Thanksgiving, and we know you'd rather eat turkey than hang out with us. So
because we would.
So make sure that you come to book club. So you got to get your fix of us in November. So you'll have a chance for that if you join in on the book club. And then we'll also be coming back on November 12th. So
November 12th. Yes, I thought you were saying December. Yeah.
Oh boy, Dylan. It's time for Dawn to go to bed.
Listen, 2 glasses of wine. I mean, come on. 2.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Dahlia, and it was a pleasure talking to you. Dawn, I'm going to flog you later. Just kidding.
She doesn't flog me. She loves it.
Dawn and I love each other.
Game.
We have a good time. So, but yes, hopefully you'll come back, and we'll make sure we have all your stuff up on the page, and we'll see everybody next time.
Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.